a secret island base.
Bomb? Nobody told me about a bomb.
In the middle of the ocean.
Do you hear that?
One podcast kingpin gets more than a vacation.
We've taken over this island, and you can't have it back, so One Movie Punch is dead.
Do I cut the red wire or the blue wire?
Now One Movie spouse must assemble the team.
Andrew checking in.
This is Garrett.
Ryan here.
It's Keith.
To face new enemies.
This is Julie from How I Met Your Friends Pod.
We're the Super Media Bros Podcast.
Retro late fee. Massive late fee.
We're watching here.
And new surprises.
A green, yellow, and purple wire too?
This summer, give me some sugar, baby, comes a trailer.
For cheesecake!
That has absolutely no context.
The periwinkle wire, the turquoise wire, the tangerine wire, the burnt sienna wire, the striped wire? How many frickin' wires does this bomb have?
One Movie Punch presents the Big Heads Media Takeover. Subscribe at onemoviepunch.libsyn.com or wherever you enjoy podcasts.
The off-white wire, the cream wire, the eggshell wire, the heavy cream wire.
In 1957, Laika became the first animal to orbit Earth. What kind of animal was Laika?
What is the only team in the Big Four North American sports leagues which shares its name with one of the Avengers?
And here's one more question for you. Are you the type of person who enjoys playing trivia games, learning new things, and having a bit of fun along the way?
If you are, or if you just want to find out the answers to those other questions, then our podcast, Quiz and Hers, might be right up your alley.
Each week, one of us writes new trivia questions for the other person, covering everything from science to history to pop culture to sports.
And every question in a game relates to some theme, like Game of Thrones,
internet memes,
sandwiches,
or animals in space.
Some of the themes make more sense than others.
So if you like trivia, learning, or real couples testing each other's knowledge and patience, check out our podcast, Quiz and Hers, part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network.
Quiz and Hers, the trivia podcast where we test each other's knowledge and the strength of our relationship.
This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Hey everyone, you're wasting time with Chris, Beth, and Matt. My name is Chris Williams. With me as always are
Beth Golpe
and
Matt December.
We did that in one take. That was pretty good, guys.
That was good. Nice job.
Wow, yeah.
Gentlemen, you are looking great. I love your outfits. I'm ready to podcast. Matt, are you ready to podcast?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Okay. Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
We're on.
Yeah.
Oh!
We're on.
Okay. So, what are you guys talking about?
Hey, it's summer. We don't want to be inside when it's just warm.
I know, that's why we're so distracted, because it's the first actual warm day of the year. I mean, I guess it's been sort of warm one other day.
No, but today felt like
yeah,
summer.
it did.
Today felt like, oh, you know how you go outside and I was at Starbucks. This is a really weird signifier of summer for me. But I walk outside and they had just tarred the blacktop.
Oh!
And there's that smell. That's that summer smell.
I put sunscreen on my kids at the park today.
Oh.
So
I wore a t-shirt to work today.
Oh.
So that to me was...
Did they fire you?
No, they promoted me.
They're like, wow, he doesn't care. He just comes in, wears a t-shirt. It's confidence.
Yeah, that's leadership. Right?
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
You're speechless. So
I am an improv champion. But I am so excited about summer because it's amusement park time.
Is it?
Aww. Yeah, it's roller coaster time.
Roller coaster season, baby. I didn't think we would get any of you singing tonight.
I like to surprise you guys. So I thought it would be fun if we talked about amusement parks. We kind of, whenever we do like one of those like hat things, like it's always someone has like a roller coaster.
Gotta have to have a roller coaster.
Even if it's like Christmas, it's like, what's your favorite Christmas roller coaster? So I thought, you know what? Here's a whole episode. We can talk amusement parks. And do you guys still do the amusement park thing?
You know, I haven't been to Cedar Point in a really long time.
Yes, I have.
But we took my son to Great Wolf Lodge a couple years ago. So when I was pregnant with Simon, it was like Grayson's last hurrah as a big brother, or as our only child rather, before he became a big brother. And now we're taking them again this year. But that's not really an amusement. I mean, it's like an indoor water park. I mean, I don't know.
That's a great start for them, though.
Yeah. It's got a lot of slides and, there's a lot of activities and, there's like, animatronic stuff and all, music and it's all kids' food and, it has a very amusement parky atmosphere because it's like all inclusive. You don't leave sort of the building and it's pretty much just all junk and rides and stuff. So
are there people walking around in tank tops with their mullets and stuff?
Oh yes, absolutely. And you can drink inside the water park.
Really?
Yes,
yeah. It does not seem wise.
It does not. No, but so there's definitely that vibe.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did you guys do as a kid? Were there any amusement parks you went to regularly?
Yeah, my family did. We used to go to Cedar Point regularly. Although, to be fair, we kind of went to Disney World. I wouldn't say regularly, but we went 3 times between the time I was 11 and 18. So that seems like...
I mean, that's a lot of times.
Yeah, I went once my entire life.
Yeah,
I didn't know you were so rich.
Apparently we were. I didn't know that either. But Cedar Point was like the regular summer thing. We used to go with my aunt and uncle and my 3 cousins, and we would go we would like drive up. We did this for a few years in a row, where we would drive up and stay at the park, like in Sandbreakers Hotel or whatever it was called, or Wave Breakers or some.
It's just Breakers.
Breakers, okay. And so we would go up, spend the day at the park, stay over at the hotel, and then I think we usually went to the park again the next day and would leave sometime in the evening. And did you guys ever stay at Cedar Point? Like overnight?
Oh, I have.
It's
not great.
The hotels are not great.
But it's gotta be driving home when you're all like kind of sunburned.
Yeah.
And I know you're like so tired.
It does. It's really nice. And the other thing that's really nice is that we used to take advantage of was if you were staying there, you didn't have I know on times when I've been to Cedar Point before where when we weren't staying there, we would leave it a couple hours before the park closed.
Yeah.
Because it's a long drive.
Because otherwise you're driving home at 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, right. So if you stay there, there's a point in the evening where the park is pretty empty.
Right.
And you've still got an hour, 30 minutes of time to ride rides.
So get on those rides. Just get going.
So I have a very fond, very specific memory of one of those years where my brother wasn't big into rides. There was some he would do, but there wasn't a ton that he would do. So the Raptor, do you guys recall the Raptor?
Mm-hmm. Love the Raptor.
Great ride. One of my favorites. There was a year where it was that night, it was that last 30-minute window, and my 3 cousins and I rode the Raptor 6 times in a row. Normally it's at the time it was an hour to 2 hour wait.
Sure.
And we rode it got off it, got right back on it, got off it, got right back on it 6 times.
You just giggling the whole time.
We were we cannot believe this is happening.
Did you guys get off at giggle all the way back to the
front?
Yes,
yeah. You're running back to the front. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, we couldn't
What a good memory.
Yeah. Because we would have been I think I would have been late middle school, early high school.
Sure.
At that time.
The perfect age.
Yeah. And then...
Not for life, but just for that.
Yeah, for that, yeah. Terrible age for life.
Really poor age for life.
And then the other thing was, in the morning, again, if you stayed there, you could get into the park early. I think they opened the park an hour early for people who stayed stayed at one of their hotels. So again, there was another opportunity to get a bunch of rides in while there was still nobody there. So
in the morning, though, as a kid, not as fun.
Not as much fun. At night, it's a lot of fun because it's it's dark and the whole park's lit up and there's an excitement in the air because you're out at night, and your kids and you're by yourself and
no bedtime ever.
Yeah, basically. Oh, so cute.
So that's kind of that's like my theme park memory.
My parents never took us to amusement parks.
Really?
No,
Really?
I've been
Why?
to. I don't know. I've been to Kings Island like a handful of times.
I've
Like
been once.
we would drive there, which it's like way farther than Cedar Point, right? Like why would they drive us there
I don't know.
when they could drive us to?
I mean, Kings
Cedar
Island
Point?
is good. It's King Island's.
I have good memories of it.
But it does seem odd to drive past the better theme park.
The thing I can figure, because I've talked about this on the show as well, like that was the park we went to every year growing
Yeah.
up. Like my grandparents started taking my brother and I, and then over the years, all the cousins would start going on that side of the family. The mothers would all start going. So you'd have this huge caravan going down. And I wanted to say, like, why would we drive, 4 or 5 hours to Kings Island when Cedar Point was like 2 hours away?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it had to do with the fact that, one, Kings Island for a long time was, I think, the more popular park.
I would.
in the
Yes, I
Midwest.
think that's got to be true.
And it has a much larger kids area. Like, Cedar Point is kind of a crappy kids area.
Is Cedar Point like Snoopyville or something?
They're both Snoopy now because they're owned by the same company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a while it was Berenstain Bears.
At Cedar Point, it was Berenstain Bears, and Kings Island, for a while, it was Hanna-Barbera.
Yes, it was. You're right. It was Hanna-Barbera.
Because when I went, the big thing was they had a Smurf boat ride that you could go and see the Smurfs.
Oh, really? That's good. I remember that.
And then it all switched over to Nickelodeon for a few years.
Oh, I don't remember
Before
that.
it became Snoopy.
Snoopy. Oh, kids love Snoopy.
Kids love it. Every kid is like, oh my gosh, where's Snoopy and Charlie Brown and Peppermint
So
Patty?
weird. It's so weird.
Kids are like, they just run to the park. They're like, where's Schroeder, you son of a bitch?
I had never been to Cedar Point until high school, my freshman year of high school. I went with a class trip. It was a nightmare. I won't talk about it.
I hate this.
It's a really bad
least
story.
favorite stories.
I got lost. I got separated from my group. And I was wandering around. I got so sunburned. I couldn't find, my class. I ended up finding the teachers and then just sat with them under, a gazebo until the bus took us home.
Day?
No, that was, my senior year of high
yeah.
school. This was freshman year. It was just, a class trip thing. Oh, it was horrible.
We did a physics day my senior year of high school. And I was not popular in high school. So I was like, and I have social anxiety and stuff like that. So the whole day, I'm like, I don't like any of these people. Who am I going to hang out with all day? And I kind of found a group to glom on with for a while. And then for some reason, this might not be true, but I have a memory that I just kind of walked around on road rides by myself for a while. But I don't know.
That's okay.
I might be wrong. I might totally be misremembering that and just I rode with someone, but I wouldn't talk to them or anything like that.
Oh, that sounds like you, yeah.
High school sucked.
Ugh, high school is the worst.
But Cedar Point was definitely, when I was in high school, middle school and high school, as I started doing youth group trips with my church, you would do the Cedar Point trip every year. And that was always great.
I was youth group cool.
Yeah, I was very youth group cool, which meant everywhere else I was very not cool.
Yes, precisely.
But, hey guys, you want to talk about Jesus?
Yeah.
It's a terrible impression of yourself.
Oh, man.
You haven't heard myself.
Yeah, so I had been to Disney World twice. Really wonderful memories of that.
What years did you go? How old were you?
I was young. I want to say I was maybe 9 and 12.
Good. Those are good ages.
I mean, they were very magical ages. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a lot of money when I was 9.
Oh.
And my aunt and uncle had won a trip to Disney World, on a radio show, and they gave us all of their meal vouchers and stuff.
Really?
And it was so we went and we got to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever we wanted in the park, and we had these tickets. And I just remember the food was so good, and they had all the theme restaurants.
Oh,
and
yeah.
because that's the thing about Disney versus another amusement park is Disney's good food. Everything at Disney's good. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's definitely like an extra level of effort that goes into it.
Yeah, I almost don't even consider Disney a theme park.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No, you're not for what we're talking about, I suppose, but there's some coasters there.
See, the age you say you went, 9 or 10, that's the perfect age to do like a Disney trip. Because we went, I was 13, I think, by the time I went. And I just remember, like, Magic Kingdom, I was kind of like...
now, though, 13 is a good age to go, especially with Star Wars opening.
Well, okay, that's the thing. Like, Magic Kingdom, I was not... Like, there were little things where I was like, Splash Mountain, that's
and you're
fun.
a boy, like Magic
Space
Kingdom is a lot more
Mountain,
girl
anything
stuff.
with mountain over after it, I was pretty okay with
This guy loves mountains.
But then I was like, oh, the Hall of President. Well, this sucks. I bet
Hall of Presidents.
I bet it sucks a lot more now.
No, it's terrible.
But I remember, like, they probably hadn't done a lot of refurbishments in years at that point.
Yeah.
So everything felt kind of dated at the park.
Well... maybe.
Like, not dated, not just that, it's old technology. It looked kind of cheap. And I remember we did Epcot, and Epcot was kind of... I remember we went on the World of Motion, and it broke down like 5 times, which was like wonderfully ironic. But then,
that is wonderfully ironic.
I liked the Disney Studios because they had Indiana Jones and Muppets and things like that.
Oh, the 3D Muppet show?
Yeah, and Universal Studios I really loved.
The second time we went, the Alien Encounter
I love the Alien Encounter.
Just opened,
That
like
was
that
so cool.
year. That was the last time I had been there.
Wow, I would have been going before you then because that was still... I don't know why I know what replaced it, but it was still like this crappy thing called like Mission to Mars.
Oh, yeah!
Where you would sit and you would just literally stare at a TV screen on the floor. Because it was like supposed to be the window of your spaceship as you're going in the sky. It was just you guys staring at the floor the whole time. It was like, Earth's going away.
And the Tree of Life had just gone up, like Animal Kingdom.
Oh, the Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that opened when you were 12?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The first year I went, I think it was the last one of the. Oh no, maybe it was one of the last years that they had the old. I don't know if you guys would remember this. It was the old 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride.
Yes, I do remember that.
I rode there.
That was the first ride we rode.
Wow.
Because it's like right through. I think it's like one of the first rides as you walk straight into the park. The first year we went, I believe, was the. We really should have just done an entire episode talking about Disney World. Because I could talk about this for an hour.
See, but I couldn't.
Oh, because you're dumb.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm poor, Matt.
You went twice!
I went once.
Oh.
I didn't grow up with a silver spoon, Matt.
I don't know how we went 3 times. I'm going to talk about my 3 trips and you guys can just listen.
Okay.
So the first time we went, we stayed outside of Disney. We stayed at in Kissimmee or whatever. And, but it was like the 75th anniversary or something of Disney World. It was some anniversary. And I remember that because there was a big fake cake as you walked in with all these candles everywhere. And,
yeah. The castle was a cake.
Yes, I think the castle was a cake.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, yeah.
So we went during it was between, we got it as a Christmas gift and we went but it was we're leaving tomorrow. And we went,
wow.
Yeah, we went the 26th through the 2nd or something.
Wow.
So we were there for New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, obviously. And so we did New Year's Eve in the park and then fireworks and all that stuff.
Did it rain money? Did you make it rain money?
We have so much.
Sorry.
Right. And then, and that was a really great trip. I don't know that there's many. Oh, so we did one of the things I remember. We're really getting on a tangent here, so I apologize. This is my fault. I'm pulling out now. I'm thinking of things. I'm oh, that was awesome. We had breakfast with the characters at because we did it. I think we did it every year we went there. It was breakfast with Mickey at one of the resorts. And it just was a dumb breakfast, but at some point the characters all come through and they're all dressed like chefs and shit, So we did that. So then the second year we went, we stayed in this, we stayed at Disney. And the third year we went, we stayed at Disney. And staying at Disney is really. Did you guys stay at Disney?
Yeah, we did actually.
We stayed at a Holiday Inn.
Oh,
but here's the thing. It was a nice Holiday Inn.
I bet it was.
They had when you're 12, you don't really, like, you're in a hotel, you don't give a care.
It's exciting, yeah.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I remember they had a nice big pool.
Yeah.
And the breakfast had an omelet bar, and I had never seen that before. So
Oh,
I was like, this is the height of luxury.
I'm still impressed by an omelet bar, so.
That's fair.
We stayed at, like, the sports hotel. It was, like, a soccer ball and a big, I remember that.
Yeah. The one we stayed at the second 2 times we went was pretty cool. It was, like, outside. It was, like, you stayed in, like, a little cabin-y thing. So we had, like, a couple of those, and, so that was really cool. Oh, gosh, should we go a 4th time?
You've gone more than 3 times.
Maybe we might have gone a 4th time. Because we went, maybe I'm thinking the third, maybe I'm confusing the second and third time as 2 trips. It was only 1 trip. Anyway, I digress. What I want to say is, I'd love to go back to Disney World. I'd especially love to go back to Disney World now that the Star Wars World is going to be opening. So it's open at Disneyland. It opens at Disney World in August, I believe.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
I was watching some stuff on the news. It looked so cool.
I was reading about it and talking about how Disney goes, like, above and beyond all these, like, other, like, your typical amusement park. I was reading about how this person had been there for the opening, and they were just talking about how impressive the extras are, like the people who like work in that part of the park, like in Star Wars World, like they have like backstories, and like when they're not doing like things to help the guests, they have like character things that they're doing, like. And I was like, it's like basically he was like, you can follow one of these people around and like watch them like live their little like fake amusement park life, like as a character. Because it's like very like interesting. And he said,
that's cool.
Like it puts the whole thing really way over the top.
Well, and I've heard like your performance on the, because they have this Millennium Falcon like simulator ride.
Yes.
Where you're piloting it, but someone else is doing the gunships. But how you do on that, there's like an app that you're connected to, and that affects your day in the park, because like you could do really good on the Millennium Falcon ride, and then you might go get a drink at the little cantina there, and like, hey, I heard you shot down 3 TIE fighters this afternoon. I'm like, that is so awesome.
That is really cool. We gotta go.
Yeah.
My sister and her husband have gone the last 3 years for every October, and they go to like the Food and Wine Festival, and all of Epcot, like each country has its own like tasting and wine pairing and stuff. I mean, they have so much fun. They go with a bunch of friends and stay. I know. We should go. I know.
How expensive is it to go to?
Oh, okay.
So expensive.
Because Kelly and I, our kids are starting to get to the age
they're
where
getting
we
close.
start thinking about Disney World. I think we've decided we're going to aim when my son is 10, which would make CC 7.
Okay.
So
that seems really good. Oh, that seems awesome.
But we priced it out.
Okay.
Holy shit,
yeah,
guys.
it's insane.
It's
Come on.
about $10,000.
That cannot be true.
It's true.
When you consider flights for 4 people, hotels for 4 people, a day in the park, just a ticket is $100 a person.
And the food is really expensive. Like, Matt, you're saying $400 a person per day in the park. It's a lot of money.
That seems exaggerated.
It's actually not. It's you got to take out like
it's not
like a loan, but
a loan.
Yeah, but so we're gonna try and do it. And I bet if you go through a travel agent, they can help you out and get you some good deals and everything. But I think we're just gonna take him to Cedar Point and like play the Lion King soundtrack in the car and be like, "Here's your Disney World experience, kids." But Kelly and I have actually, this is horrible. So we've talked about next year, after I finish my master's program, just the 2 of us going to Universal Studios.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'm thinking of it.
Because we're like, well, that's affordable, and the kids aren't tall enough to really ride, tall enough or brave enough to ride anything.
Yeah,
right.
So we're like, we'd love to go see Harry Potter World.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Definitely go. You don't have to like, don't let those gremlins hold you back.
I think we've talked about this on maybe our old show, that like everyone gives us crap for wanting to do that. I'm like, we're going to take the kids when they're old enough.
Someday,
right.
Yeah. But we're definitely going to.
My parents never took us on vacation. They would always take vacations without us. And
they're so smart.
Yeah, now I get it. Then I was like, wow, my parents are,
It is totally different spending a day in an amusement park as a kid opposed to spending a day in an amusement park
of course.
as an adult with kids. Like, I don't know, like, or even without kids. I remember we used to be able to go to Cedar Point or Kings Island. Like, even in my 20s, okay? we would go to Kings Island for like a 3-day music festival. And all day you would be at the park, riding rides, go to concerts in the evening. You do this for 3 days. And you could just, it was so much fun. I had so much fun doing it. So after Kelly and I got engaged, we decided to go to the same festival and do like our 3 days at the park. And I was so exhausted.
I can't even imagine.
First day. Like Cedar Point, I don't know if you guys both went when you were teenagers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you used to be able to go and you did nothing but hit roller coasters all day?
Yeah.
Have you tried doing that as an adult?
No, I haven't been.
It's horrible.
It's
like halfway through the day, you're like, oh, I've been in the sun too long.
Yeah.
But I need to go sit and I just need to go have a funnel cake or something right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I haven't been to an amusement park since I think I was a teenager.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go. It's like 15 years plus since I've been to Cedar Point.
Do you know where I have really vivid memories of? Because my sister got lost there and they had to shut it down. Boblo Island.
Wow, Pablo.
Yeah, they had to stop the boats. We went twice. Is it like Simpsons themed?
I don't think it was Simpsons themed. No, it was there was the Boblo Bear or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember my grandpa took us there for a day trip. And the only thing I remember about it is he's like, well, let's go see a magic show. And they had this...
Was it like a dirty magic show?
No, it was I was
weird.
Ripping tops off of women. There goes her top. There goes her top.
You'll see what appears. No, but it was like a haunted castle magic show.
Oh.
And I was young. I was probably 10 and easily scared. And I remember they were like the trick was we're going to use a guillotine and chop her head off. And then ghosts are coming in from the sides and people are screaming. And I remember being very terrified of that.
My sister was a wanderer and she got lost. And I just remember it's a horrible memory. I can still feel the panic in my parents, not being able to find her.
Yeah.
Oh. And they had to shut down the island and everyone was freaking out. She was hiding in a bathroom.
They shut down the whole island?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they can't let boats leave. They have a
true,
kid,
yeah. Oh, so they didn't shut down all the rides.
No, they stopped traffic to and from the island. It was intense. It was intense.
We had...
That's bizarre.
We used to go with, like I said, all my cousins to Kings Island. My grandparents and my mom and her sisters would take us. And I remember one year, my sister would have been probably 1 or 2. And we took her, and we kind of all went and did our own things. And so my grandma was, well, I'll stay with Ashley, and we'll meet up. They have this big Eiffel Tower in the middle of the park. So, all right, we'll meet you here when we're done riding rides. And we go back, and we can't find her anywhere. Like my grandma and my sister anywhere. And we looked for 2 hours for them. Just panicking. Where's grandma? Where's Ashley? Where's Ashley? Where's Nana? Where's Nana?
How old is Nana at this point?
She probably would have been in the early 60s, mid 60s.
So what? She was just an adult then. You were...
She was a missing adult. Well, come to find out, we must have been really horrible at looking for people because she was just around the corner from where we said we'd meet, sitting on a bench that we would have easily seen had we just walked around the other side of the Eiffel Tower. Mm-hmm. But the only thing I remember is we find my Nana sitting on the bench. My sister's laying on the bench asleep and we find her. So my brother thinks it's going to be hilarious to go wake my sister up. So he goes over and startles her and she pees all over the
God. This is a terrible story.
Of urine.
I also remember
she's just a kid.
My mom was really big into roller coasters and really wanted us to ride roller coasters. So they had this Kings Island's famous for the Beast.
Yes,
the world's largest wooden roller coaster at the time.
It's still
gross, man. That is just gross.
But anyways, they had this small roller coaster called the Beastie. It was in the kids' world. It was kind of
Don't. This is so gross.
It was the first ride you would ride as a kid. To kind of get used to roller coasters. So I remember my mom was like, well, if you guys ride this, you can't ride anything. So ride this ride. Okay. So I did it. My brother did it. But my sister, who at this time was now 6, she's like, I don't want to ride this, Mom. I don't want to ride this. Mom's like, no, ride the ride. And Ashley was like, no, I don't want to ride it, Mom. I don't like the big hill. So my mom tells her, oh, well, I'll just talk to the operator. We'll skip the big hill.
Oh my gosh.
So my sister's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess as long as we can skip the big hill.
Did she like scream psych at her as she...
No, as they're pulling out of the station, my mom looks at the operator. Oh, we'd like to skip the big hill. Yeah, thank you. And then they go up the big hill and they didn't skip it, obviously. And
Oh, they didn't? Oh, okay.
so they did not skip the big hill. But it's funny because we started taking our kids to a Kings Island. And I've been trying to get Mickey to ride the Beastie. And I did not tell him they would skip the big hill. What I did instead was just said, hey, let's get in line for these bumper cars. But I got him in line for the Beastie instead.
Good.
And he did not like that.
No!
Aw, tricking your kids.
No, and it worked really bad because it paralyzed him for the rest of the week.
Yes!
Like, mentally.
He suffered a terrible spinal contusion.
Because I also told him,
This is terrible.
I also told him, I'm like, well, let's go on this little boat ride.
Stop.
Like, Mickey, there's this little Snoopy boat ride. Let's go on this.
That's cute.
So we go on it, and, we're floating through on this little log ride. I didn't tell him that at the end of the ride, they're going to take us up like a 20-foot hill and then, drop us down.
Oh.
He did not like it.
Not even afterwards?
No.
See,
Usually you like it you're like,
kid,
oh, okay.
My dad used to make me go on roller coasters with him. And I'd always be like, oh, this is terrible. Why am I doing this? I hate this. And then whenever it was done, I was like, can we go again? That was awesome. I love that.
Exactly.
He was 3. But
what is wrong with you? You can barely talk.
He has promised this year he's going to do it, though. I think, peer pressure was such a good thing, though, growing up with roller coasters.
Yeah, I think so.
Because,
Excuse me. Bless you.
Because, I would be terrified to ride anything, but if my parents were there, I could just chicken out and say, oh, Mom, Dad, I'm scared, I don't want to ride it. But if I was at Cedar Point with my friends, I didn't want to be a chicken.
Yeah, you got it.
So that's how I rode all my rides, was just like, yeah, guys, I'll do it. And
that's why you didn't have many friends. That voice.
They're all like, oh.
Come on, guys!
Man, I don't know what it is about talking about roller coasters and theme parks, but I could just do it all day.
I know, I want to keep
going. Every time we have an episode like this,
Do you guys have a certain place you sit in the roller coaster?
Try this. I when we were going a lot, especially to Cedar Point, obviously. I always try to sit we always try to get the front car.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the second car from the front. I don't want to be in the front. I want to be second.
Because of birds, you're afraid of hitting a bird.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, obviously.
Now I am afraid of that, but no, I don't want to be first. It's like ordering the second cheapest glass of wine on a menu. It's like my move.
No, that's terrible. Front seat is the front row is the best row. That's where we like to sit when I went with my cousins.
Mm.
Yeah, front row. That's usually my go-to. I love the front, but if it's a really wild looping thing, sometimes I really like the back.
That whiplash is real on those things. I don't like it.
I know.
Yeah, you're really
my son. But
yeah.
Oh my god.
You really can get a lot of the head going,
I don't like that. Yeah, the head, getting your head bonked around is one of my roller coaster fears.
Sorry, bud.
It's alright.
So Beth, are you gonna take your kids anytime soon?
I don't think anytime soon. Grayson is kind of, I don't know, he tends to be more cautious, so I can't imagine that he would be big on rides.
Kings Island's a good place to start with that.
Yeah.
Because they have, my daughter's 3. How old is Grayson? He's
4
right now. Okay.
He just turned 4.
And there's a lot she can already ride.
Oh, really?
They have little helicopters that go around. There's a haunted house. It's not scary.
Right.
It's a good place to start. They have a lot of shows. And he can see Schroeder.
Mm.
Yeah. That's
his favorite Peanuts character.
Kids love the Peanuts characters. You know how every kid, they're skipping to school in the morning, going,
oh, that's the Charlie Brown.
That's the Charlie Brown thing.
That's good. That's funny.
Well, I think we're
that's good. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, this was fun.
Last bang in the one.
Okay.
When is the next time everybody's going to an amusement park?
Oh, good one.
I'm going in July. At the end of July for my 40th birthday, we will be going to Kings Island.
Okay, this is all your family?
This will be me and Kelly, Mickey and Cece, my sister and her kids, and then I think my mom.
Okay. And what about you?
You know, I do think we're going to go to Great Wolf Lodge. I don't think that counts as an amusement park, but we'd be going within the next couple months.
Okay.
What about you?
No plans. I mean, I'd like to go...
I really want to go to Halloween. I've been saying that for a decade. Literally a decade.
That's fun.
I have a girlfriend that lives, she lives in the Cleveland area, and she worked at Cedar Point, in the summer. She said everyone did. Oh. And she's like, Halloween weekends, man, you just can't beat it. With the night, it's like open later, everything's lit up, it's cooler,
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I'd like to do that.
I know. Sounds fun. Let's do it. You know what, guys? Let's do it this year.
Yeah,
let's really do it.
I want to go.
Okay, let's really do it. We'll podcast from there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they'll listen for free because it's like free publicity for them, or they're like, oh, we got the Wasting Time crew.
Oh, yeah. Or talking about it now, I'd like to go to Disney World. Let's go to Disney.
Yeah.
Let's get people sponsor us. Go down to do a Patreon so we can go to Star Wars Land.
And can you take us to Disney World?
Yeah, Matt.
Because we just found out you're rich. No?
I don't like that.
Well, he's not taking us.
Did either of you ever consider, because I considered doing a summer job at Cedar Point, like very briefly in high school.
No, never.
No, I was going to say that
hindsight,
at no point in my life would that have sounded good to me.
I remember thinking, oh, it'd be great. I could go and meet new people, and I'd get to go to the amusement park every day on my day off.
Matt's brother worked at Disney World.
Oh, yeah?
He did.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember... See, that's where I'm trying to remember if that was when I went when I was 18, or if that was another trip later when I was in college.
I don't remember.
Maybe it must have been 18. So yeah, I think because he would have been like 21.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was like working down. He worked down there for a semester, I believe, and we went down there at some point while he was working down there for like 4 or 5 days.
I just remember that he liked it.
He did like it because
they made a lot of friends.
Yeah, there was a lot of people working there, young people. They got if you worked there, you got there was condos, you had roommates. Obviously, it was
it's like real world,
but it was
Disney World.
Yeah, it's exactly that's exactly what it's like because you just get
it's like young people all living together. I bet they really are.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of people that worked there from my theater days in college that people left and ended up going to work at Disney doing character stuff.
It's really funny. If you go online and you read people's experiences working at Disney World, it's great. But if you Google people's experiences working at Cedar Point, it's like, there were bed bugs in our door.
Yeah.
4 of us in a room.
I can't imagine.
Fights break out every night. Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Very different.
So, hey, listeners, let us know your amusement park story. Sorry, Matt.
No, I'm teasing. No, I was making a face for Matt. Sorry.
Let us know your favorite amusement park stories. What roller coasters do you like? And other stories.
And other things.
What do you like? What do you hate? Or where do you want to go? When are you going to take your kids? We want to know all of these things. Start thinking about it.
Yeah.
You can email us at Hello Wasting Time Podcast. Yeah. Message us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Post in the Facebook group.
That'd be great. I'm going to say one last thing, then we can end this show.
Okay.
You mentioned Universal Studios?
Yes.
And I meant to talk about Universal Studios.
Oh, let's do it. That was my favorite when we went, yeah.
So you've been there before?
Yeah, I loved it.
I've never been there.
You've never been there?
Never.
We went there, I think it was the second year I went to Disney. We went one day to Universal, and it was before, obviously this was before Harry Potter World, and it was before the Marvel Islands of Adventure was open, so it was just the traditional old
time. Yeah, that's what they when I went.
So, but it's a really fun park. I'd love to go back there. They had the Terminator 3D show, and they had their Jurassic Park ride, and they had the E.T. ride, and the Backdraft exhibit thing was still there.
Really? They didn't have that when I went. I think I went a little earlier than you.
Backdraft?
They did have a Backdraft one.
Wow.
Oh no, maybe it was Twister. Maybe they were.
Oh, it was Twister, but Universal Studios in Hollywood had a Backdraft.
Okay, so I'm thinking, it was Twister. That's what it was.
Okay, see, when I went, the Twister show was actually a Ghostbusters show. And it was really cool because they took you to this room and Like they was.
What did they do to you?
This is a weird.
No, they have. You know how like the Haunted Mansion uses holograms and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, imagine that, but it's instead of like looking at a ballroom, you're looking at that that roof at the end of Ghostbusters where the final fight takes place.
Oh,
okay.
And so yeah, they would have like Slimer fly out, and then
yeah,
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Uh-huh.
It was really cool.
It sounds cool.
Sounds really cool.
Did they have Back to the Future when you went?
Yeah, yes, it was Back to the Future.
Okay, now that's a Simpsons ride.
Yes, I did go on the Back to the Future ride. It was a very cool ride.
Jaws was cool.
Oh, I did like Jaws. Yep, we did Jaws.
They had King Kong.
Yes, we did the King Kong too. The thing about Universal was, like, it was a nice getaway from Disney because you could, but at the time, before I had all this other extra cool stuff, you could do everything in one day. We did all of that in one day. Like, all of the big rides there.
Crazy to me now.
Yeah, we did all the big rides in one day. And then I was like, oh, that's cool.
Do you have to go for, like, if you were going to do Universal and Disney, would you have to go for, like, literally, like, a month?
Man.
I mean,
go for, if you want to do everything, like, all the parks, you would have to do, like, 2 weeks, I would imagine.
I mean, it's crazy how much stuff there is. It's crazy.
See, when we went, Universal Studios had only been open for, like, a year or two, and they were hurting. Like, it was, like, a flop when it opened. So, they had this deal. If you went to the park, you could go to the front gate and they would give you a voucher to come back again. For free.
Oh my gosh, please come back.
So, like, we were only going to do one day at Universal Studios. We did 2 days at the park because we loved it so much. Now all the rides I loved are gone from there. So, like, Back to the Future, Jaws.
I'm sure the stuff that's there is pretty cool.
I've heard the Harry Potter stuff is cool.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
We had friends get engaged there.
That's true, we did.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I have my cousins and their whole family had gone last year, and all the pictures and stuff they sent was so cool.
Man.
So, I know.
Let's go, baby.
People do so much fun stuff.
I know.
Let's get a Patreon.
Okay, we need to wrap this up.
We're gonna wrap this up. Sorry,
Beth, why don't you handle the closing stuff again?
Oh, sure. So you can email us at hellowastingtimepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find you're listening to the podcast, but leave us a review on iTunes and we'll read it on the show. And we respond to every email eventually. You can find me on my website at unicornfood.com. And Matt, where can we find you?
Just on Twitter, I'm at December.
Chris, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter, Matt December.
You wish.
Yeah. You can find me writing about movies at MichiganSportsAndEntertainment.com. You can find my other podcast, We're Watching Here, every other Friday at Big Heads Media. And you can find me on Twitter at Mere Christianity.
I love that podcast title, by the way. So
We're
cute.
Watching Here?
Mm-hmm.
That is not my responsibility. My partner came up with that, and he gets to shout it out at the beginning of every show. So.
Oh, wow. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Tell us about roller coasters.
Yeah.